Come on, everybody. It's that Tyll.
All right, so people are getting used to when I say 8:45, okay, it's 8:58. That's a 13-minute difference. We're going to get better. We're like an airline where we're serving all over the world, and we're going to do Saturday night. The airport's crowded. Are we going to get grief on that, or are we going to hear back? Where were you at 8:45?
I was brushing my teeth.
Oh yeah. All right. Good. All right. So, so no answer for that. See, when I say that, what do you say? Were we supposed to be on time? No. You were brushing your teeth, is what you were doing.
There you go. There you go. Hey, good things come to those who wait.
What happens on a Saturday night that you're available for a podcast? I'm here because of a personal negative emergency. I'm not going to lie. Bad things are happening, but it's COVID related. And I'm committed every time in my career that a news story has transcended the regular news cycle. I was trained as a journalist. You are always on that case like a doctor. If the case blows up, you go to the station, go to the bureau, or on your own as a reporter. Get out there with your tape recorder. They're going to be looking for this. Go get it. So by the time headquarters finds you, like when I was in my 20s, whatever, by the time my editor, general manager got to work, Ed, I had a couple of hours of legwork. So this is, to me, not unusual. Saturday night, interrupt whatever personal life you can have during quarantine. I have none. But to be doing work at 9 o'clock on Saturday night, you, me, Wolf Blitzer, these are the dedicated people. I don't know who else goes to work on a 9 o'clock on a Saturday if they don't have to. But if it's what you do, you know, you're a forensic accountant. A lot of people, you just have to be on call. So here we are. Why were you available? The boys, you said, are watching a movie. What movie are they watching that you're not watching with them?
They're watching Dr. Dolittle, and I had just gotten done with the dishes and put my pajamas on when he called.
You're
so
so
I'm
funny.
Available.
You're funny. Dr. Dolittle, Eddie Murphy. Dr. Dolittle.
No, I asked him that. Which Dr. Dolittle? Thinking of Eddie Murphy. He's like the new one. I was like, oh, okay, not interested.
Wait a second. There's a newer one than Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, I don't know who's in it.
Okay, well, I got bad news for you.
Then.
Well, here's bad news. Eddie Murphy is the bad new one. You don't know about the original? Yeah, I do too, but he's terrible. I would never watch Dr. Dolittle with Eddie Murphy. Come on. Or whatever Goomba they have. Now, you don't know who the original Dr. Dolittle is? Oh, here's America and Lisa.
I'm not sure.
Think back.
I was a little young for that to remember.
Well, firsthand, no way. I mean, you couldn't have gone to the movies and seen this, but it ran on television endlessly in the decade that you were 0 to 10. What decade were you 0 to 10 age-wise?
In the 70s.
Bingo. So in the 70s, this was on TV all the time when you were
little.
Yeah,
I remember it, but I don't remember who exactly was the character.
Right. Now it's coming to you, right? There's an old movie. Yeah. It's in color, and he's an old, famous star. But here's the trick about Dr. Dolittle. Here's why Eddie Murphy. Look, I love Eddie Murphy. Don't you? I mean, he's a brilliant guy. But it's not the character. Dr. Dolittle is British. Dr. Dolittle can't come from Ohio or from Detroit. I don't know where Dr. Dolittle comes from in Eddie Murphy movie land. But does he play a British guy? I don't think so. Eddie doesn't play it British, does he?
I don't think so, but the newest one that came out in 2020 is with Robert Downey Jr.
No! Oh, more. You know, it's terrible for him. He doesn't have enough money off of Iron Man. Wow. Is it really Robert Downey Jr.? has
Yeah,
become Dr.
yeah.
Doolittle. This is it's a thought. Everything's upside down because of Corona. This is happening. People have the coronavirus. They're making bad decisions. All right, look, I
There you
can't.
go.
I can't fix that now. I have things to do. I would love to fix that. Eddie Murphy was bad enough. Now Robert Downey Jr. All right, so do you know the
So
song?
tell me, who was the original?
Oh my God, Rex Harrison. If I could talk to the animals, da da, and talk to the animals. Oh my God, that song is one of the greatest. Eddie Murphy, and now
Okay,
Robert
I'm
Downey.
pulling it up on Wikipedia.
If I could
the
talk
original.
to the animals, da 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 da, ba da 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 da. It's a British thing. It's a British ditty.
It is.
If I could talk
Well, it came out
to
in
the animals.
1967. I wasn't born yet.
No, I know, not at the movies, but it was the hottest television movie in the 70s. You see what I mean? In 75, 76, 77, this was red hot entertainment in the living room. Parents watched it with kids. There was no Disney Channel. You know what? If you check it, isn't it a Disney movie with Rex Harrison? Who made the movie? Look up the Rex Harrison movie. If I could talk to the animals, talk to the animals, talk. It's got all these great little British words. Talk, walk, and look with the animals. They would walk with me. Oh, come on. You
It
can't
was
put...
distributed by 20th Century Fox.
Uh-huh. So, all right. Who made it? You got a director on that? Why you got it open?
The director is Richard Fleischer.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Oh, man, what a great film. So I don't know why do you have to do that? You're ruining it. You know, there's such bad people. Why don't you say, look, we're going to make the Rex Harrison one, three-dimensional, 5.1 surround sound, perfect all the facial, 4K. Do something with Rex. Eddie Murphy.
I'll tell you why. Because they have no more ideas left in Hollywood.
They don't.
Everything is garbage. So they're having to pirate from years ago and remake everything.
I hate it. Don't you hate that? I said that is the worst disappointment on movie night to see. Wow, these are all old movies that they're remaking. Why do I want to see like some brand new starlet I never heard of in a movie that was? I'll give you a couple. You want to see a movie that is great on a Saturday night? They call them film noir. There is a film with Elizabeth Taylor. It's called Butterfield 8. I don't even want to give away the movie. I just want you and your girlfriends or whoever, I don't know what the boys, your husband could love this movie. For the kids, it's too early for them to catch on to why it's an interesting story. Why would I care about that? But you and the husband, you and your contemporary girlfriends, your Trump pals, you need to get some wine, shut off the phone, put on Butterfield 8 and watch Elizabeth Taylor own a movie, a powerful woman, storytelling. She touches every box, checks off every box, does everything you could ever want in a movie, and they keep remaking it. There's so many remakes of Butterfield 8, and every actress has a take and a who and a director, but you can't beat it. You can't touch this movie. I'm going to give you another one. They keep remaking it. It's the best thing ever. It's for free on television. It must kill everybody. Oh, my God. They can get this for free. Why would they come to a theater and pay $20 to see my version of it? It's called Dial M for Murder. Ray Milland is the star. Hitchcock is the director. You can't beat this film. So this is the answer to your question. Why do they have...
I guess I have some homework.
You have homework, and I'm also going to tell you about something else. There's one more thing. You will get this people don't get, but I think you'll get it right away. You're a sharp kid. Everywhere tonight in America and the Western world, I like to say it's the Western world, because all over the world there are pockets of people like Americans. They're either rebels or this or whatever the hell they are, but they get just what I'm about to say with you. The greatest creativity in the world is the original idea. That's the whole pinnacle of creativity. Wow, I never thought of that. Wow, I never heard of that. Now, maybe you have heard of it and you forgot it or you didn't pay attention when it was going on. Doesn't matter. For you, you're like, oh, whoa, hello. So that's what art used to hold itself to, okay? That's how it all got started, art, as it were. You know, literature, Plato, the ancient Greeks, Pliny the Elder in ancient Rome. It's all the same. Oh, wow, really? What? Ever since the beginning of mankind, people have been saying, oh, wow. Oh, yeah. So you are watching the struggle of the human species right now. You were born at a perfect moment, Lisa. In history, you've got a window into what happens. Civilization will be going along, things will be progressing, and people get lazy. And when they get lazy, they have no idea it's lazy in the beginning. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Everything seems unchallenging and unmoving to them. Oh, I've seen that before. Oh, yeah, I know what that's all about. Oh, you don't have to go any further. I'm in. Don't go any further. I'm out. It's very unchallenging to sit on the laurels of what all the great original ideas brought you. There are great original ideas that got us to where we are tonight. But it doesn't matter because right now, who's pressing on me to get a new idea original? No one. Why? Well, the marketplace will let me resell an idea. It's been out there 15 times. You're kidding. Seriously, how many Rockies are there? How many Rocky movies are there? I mean, he's 100. Have you seen him now? I love him. But I mean, he's 100. And there's always another Rocky movie, right? Isn't there? Apollo Creed.
Absolutely.
And I was in college when he came out with the first one. You know, I grew up on James Bond. Those are movies. I grew up on A Hard Day's Night. Those are movies. I grew up on All the President's Men. Those are movies. Movies, real movies. Who Shot Liberty Valance? Movies. Those are real movies. And now, if I could sell you, how about Ghostbusters with the all dwarfs now? It's coming out. Hey, remember they had all women?
There you go.
Right, yeah, Ghostbusters all women. Now I got all lesbian dwarfs make out while they shut down the ghosts. It's a big seller. Are you kidding? We've pre-sold the movie. People have already...
How many Charlie's Angels are there?
Oh, my God. Another one. Do I love... You know, my heart breaks for Farrah because she was world famous for the big-hearted girl. And the world ate her alive. They beat her up. And it's what the world did to women. You don't have to explain this to a normal man. I understand there are, some kind of people, I don't know what happened. I don't know what you're talking about. But you don't have to explain to any normal human being what has happened. Now, sociologically, there's a great discussion to be had here. If you want to look at it as, wow, even Farrah Fawcett, no matter what women do, or Billie Holiday, wow, she was black, female, amazing. Look what they did to her. We're always Josephine Baker. Oh, my God, Linda Ronstadt
Janis
even.
Joplin. Look what they did to Janis Joplin.
Janis Joplin, there you go. Right. Oh, my God, Janis Joplin, one of the great human beings eaten alive. But that's part of what an artist is willing to do. If you're going to get something onto a stage or onto a wall, and it's going to be big enough to do anything, you are going to have to use everything that you have. And if you are not 100% ready, you can get eaten alive. 27 is not that's not a coincidence. That's when human beings, explosive personalities, that's usually the apex of the explosion. So if you're right on point, Kurt Cobain, right on point, Jim Morrison from The Doors, right on point, Janis Joplin, you're right on point, Jimi Hendrix, you're right on point with these people. They're with every day. There's people going nuts for you, and you don't know anything about how that happened. You just do the guitar. You just do the microphone with Janis. You just, she sang all her childhood. She sang in church. Everybody, it's always the same thing with these people. They've been singing forever, playing forever, magically connect, and everybody says, this is your original question. Why is everything copycat? The minute they get up there and they're famous, right? People are like, I need another Jimi Hendrix. Do you guys have another band like The Doors? We need something just like the Beatles, but a little different. Not exactly like the Stones, but if you could find me something like Van Halen. That's all anybody does. No one says, oh, my God, they're so original. We should go in the opposite direction now. That's give them space. Let's not try to steal their thunder. That's their noise, man. They made that all on their own. It's beautiful. That's their mountain. Where's our pyramid? Where are we putting our ocean? Where are we going to build our, utopia, Atlantis, whatever you want. I'm going to peace in the world. So where are you going to build it? Let's go. Get moving. Well, I don't know. I was going to get this other guy. He plays just like Hendrix. It's so much easier. It's so much easier, right? I mean, don't you see this?
Well, I could do with no more boy bands. Enough with the boy bands.
Well, I'm a capitalist. They gotta exist. I don't know. What are you gonna? How do you Ariana Grande's got all these? They all are kind of. I see why it's fun, right? It's recreational music, right? You don't have to worry about what that song. You're not thinking about what is the singer saying. That's not what happens on the club dance floor. Is anybody on the club dance floor what is this song really all about? What's happening? I don't think that's what you're...
No.
Who cares? I'm on a dance floor. What do I care?
Exactly.
I'm glad it's on. That's where
I got this hot chick next to me. I'm focused on her, not listening to what music.
Honest to God, right? Isn't it usually a tool? Right now, during coronavirus, I am listening to all kinds of... I had jazz. We did country on the radio show Friday, right? Didn't you love? By the way, that kind
we did.
People like that. We got a lot of good reviews. Why? Because it's true. If my Uncle John was president, it would bother people just like Trump. My Uncle John, he's much nicer. He doesn't use those kind of words, but the decisions would be 99% the same. It's straight away business. You got to do the important, serious things. That's all. Just give me the important, serious ones. Let's get on with it. Then we can have some fun. But you got to do a couple of serious things. So ask me some questions. Why am I available on Saturday? Why would I be doing a podcast? What kind of an emergency brings Ed? The Ed Tyll Podcast in and of itself is an enigma in broadcasting. Ed, when is your podcast? Ed, how long have you been a podcaster? Ed, do you have a download? I was on your show. Where's the link to the download of the show with the thing, Ed? So ask away. What am I doing on 9/17 on a Saturday night? That's Eastern time. What is the date? April 11, I believe. 4/11. Is that right?
Correct.
All right.
That is correct.
You got it,
Tell
baby.
me, Edward,
Yeah.
what has gotten into your soul tonight to make you want to come on at 9 o'clock at night and spill your guts?
By the way, you mentioned your pajamas before. Don't you think it's a little early to be pajamaing up? What was
I'm
that?
a mom, okay? The earliest is possible.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Don't you? I had jeans on today. I don't know what possessed me to wear jeans today.
Well, I was going to say,
but I was like, man, this is uncomfortable.
I thought there would be casual evening then pajamas, for me, speaking personally, pajamas go along with the newness of the pillow. I like the pajamas and the pillow to feel new when it's sleep time. So pajamas for
Well,
me.
that's where I was. I was headed to the bed. I was going to watch
Were you
the
going to go to
Vikings and
sleep?
chill out.
Wow. Oh, my God. Look at
I
America.
wasn't going to go to sleep.
What has happened to America? So, okay, you were going to
Where
watch.
am I going to go? We're in like coronavirus land. You know, am I going to walk out and pet a deer or something?
Well, no, I would hope there's no activities outside. But I don't know, reading a book. Do you book read?
I was going to watch some Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Got it. Okay. Now, we could talk about that on Monday on the show. Make a note. I don't want to sidetrack now. I got news. But Netflix, you watch it. I am I started with Netflix like I did with Facebook, I think on day one. All of these things just dropped on you about 20 years ago. And each one, I was like, all right, I'll try this. I used to get the DVDs in the mail. Did you ever get the DVDs in the mail back in the day?
We still do. What do you think the boys are watching right now?
Oh, wow. Dr. Doolittle is a DVD.
My husband is old school. He loves movies, but he likes to get the movie delivered to the house.
Wow. All right, you got to ask him and ask me to ask you. I used to be able to get a hold of a delivery on Let It Be by the Beatles. Somehow, all of these things disappeared. There's a new version coming out in the fall, many months from now. But he might know over the years where there's still a copy of the original from the movie theater. It used to be deliverable. I lived in Chicago, New Orleans, a couple of cities where I had video delivery back in the day. But all of that has changed now. So, because it's highly in demand. Whenever it's available, people watch it. It's the last, pictures of the Beatles being the Beatles with no, there's no movie. It's a documentary of what they're like. Breaking up, it turns out. Turns out it was the last time they hung out. So, anyway, mention that to DVD guy because I love. I will
mention it to Jeffrey.
A lot of guys are good at squirreling away this kind of thing. My friend Horgan is good at this.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't have it in his little hoard of his own DVD collection.
I was going to say, for people who know what's going on, it's highly desirable. And, of course, as you know, when you get a DVD of something, I mean, you have to kill it. You have to gouge it. You have to lose it, melt it. I mean, it really is durable. It's sad. Oh, my God, I can't believe I'm telling you this. All right, so I love music since I was a kid, right? Talking about my albums, blah, blah. But now we're into 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the fourth version I'm buying of everything I love. I had vinyl as a kid. We went to cassette. We went to CD. We are back to vinyl. So my original vinyl that I own, half of it is scratched in strategic moments of songs. If there's a scratch in an inconsequential way, I don't care. I live with it. If it's on a lyric, if it's on a chorus, if it messes up the song, we got to replace it. So I am and now guess what's happening?
What? What's happening?
It's becoming too. Right. It's becoming too. It is becoming too much work. You got to get up. You got to flip the album. You got to walk over the turntable. I hate the whole thing. The original reason for getting rid of it has come back again. Do you understand what's going on? I'm sick of this for the second time in my life.
Do you wake up in the middle of the night and it's going?
How do you know this?
And you got to take it off?
Do you want? I swear to God, you must be a psychic. Now the albums cost like $30 now. An album.
I know.
Okay. I don't mind because it's great music, and you play it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. That's all good. Let me tell you what's not good. What's not good is if you made a brand new album. For me, I'm a Beatles fan. You're making the Beatles brand new copy of their famous album. can't you make it so that it doesn't skip at the end? What you just said. I have 2 brand new $30 beautiful remasters. They don't automatically return. They didn't make the record the right way for the arm to come back. And you just said it.
Isn't that annoying?
2 o'clock in the morning, I forget, and then I'm in the bathroom, whatever I'm doing, and in the middle of the night, if I wake up, I always stop by the sink for a quick antiseptic rinse on the mouth. Because as a kid, they tell you a lot of bacteria overnight. So I'll always do, okay, so I'll be at the sink on a little swish, and I go, what is that? What is it? And it's so annoying. I go, what is it? Are these like crickets outside? What could it? So I start following it. I go, son of a bitch! I'm in the middle of the living room now. It's pitch dark, and I gotta find this thing. And of course, I can't find it in the dark. So what happens? I hit it, and it goes, and then it starts to return. Oh my God! It's a brand. I pay $30 to be annoyed. $30 to get the Beatles and more annoying. So now, what is turning out to be true? This is so sick. This is such an American psychosis. Well, the best experience turns out to be the one we went too far. We did not need the download at all. That was another one. You don't need to have your whole record collection in your pocket, do you? You carry around every song you ever heard of in your pocket? No. And if you wanted to do that, you got YouTube online. But here's the thing. Now, the CD. Why was the CD great? Okay, it doesn't scratch, easy to play. It carried a lot of music. There's room, a lot of room on a CD. Now, why was a CD not so good? Because it's too muffly. It's only zeros and ones, muffly. You got to get rid of the muffly, and you got to keep the length, and then you stick it in the machine. It could stay in there for a month. You got 2 albums, 3 albums on one disc. So I think that's kind of ironic with music. I bought all these albums. I couldn't wait to buy them. Ooh, they got 180 grams of vinyl. Do you know what that means? 180 grams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what it means. Expensive.
I can't tell you. I probably have 2 boxes downstairs in my basement full of CDs because we don't use them anymore. It's all on iTunes now.
That's another one. iTunes. See, I don't need the whole world. I don't want my record collection on file with the world. I am all that. Oh, you want to see my playlist? Oh, look at my playlist. You want some of my songs? Put your phone on top of my phone.
I don't do that.
Oh, come on.
No.
Come on. I got the, I don't know. It's getting very crowded. The world is getting very crowded with what you're doing, and I have to know it. All right. So Aunt Addie is the whole reason for this now. 9:26, we'll finally get to Aunt Addie here on the podcast. Tyll Podcast, by the way, edtyll.com. We're live. We're live on the internet right now. edtyll.com. Bang. You go to my website, edtyll.com. You see me, you tap on me. Tap on me, tap on the listen button, or tap on the real, you'll see it there. Is a button. What does it say? Click.
It says listen.
Listen, and it says click. Click under it, right? It says click under it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to make it real easy for people. I'm trying to make it real easy for people to hear what's going on. Now, another thing, you believe this? Oh, this is great. Here I am finally looking at the camera after a half an hour. We're supposed to be on video pretty much all the time. Do you get this? I don't know if you know this. Do you know this?
No,
okay.
I did not know that.
All right, well, I'll tell you about it. As long as we're doing it, might as well tell you about it. Everything we do should be, as I'm doing right now, in front of a camera. Okay, and, there's live stream. Live stream's a little bit much for me because you take the whole thing in bulk. Sometimes I like the highlights, and there's now new websites. I remember I told you Quibi the other day. Quibi and Ocho, some of these new sites, they're going for highlights only. Just give me the highlights. Howard Cosell used to come on with the highlights on Monday night. All these teams would play football, but I don't want to watch 16 games. I want, in Dallas, it was a Hail Mary pass, and there's the resurrection. You know, a little Easter theme on the Howard Cosell impression. So, highlights is what Quibi and others are all about. So we're doing that now. Every time you and I are on, there should be a video like this of some sort, and then that will go out after we've been on. Don't you like that you'd have a link right away, and you could send it around and say, listen to what I told Ed, listen to what Ed and I talked to. Don't you like that?
Yeah, today I found your YouTube videos. I didn't know you were posting on YouTube.
Well, that's the idea.
And I sent it to my dad in Colombia.
That's it. In Colombia? Really? Your father's in the country, in the nation of Colombia?
Yes.
Wow. Is he in Medellin, or where is he in Colombia?
He's out in the mountains outside of Medellin.
You did mention the mountains and him. Wow.
Yeah. I talked to him the other day.
Well, he's going to love these videos. So that's the idea. The idea is, Ed Tyll, what about your podcast? Let's make it very clear. Every recording that we publish is a podcast. Lisa, tell the people.
I didn't know that.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I'm learning something new from you every day.
Well,
it's
in a way, but perhaps we all knew. We've all known about recordings, haven't we? Like, we've all been downloading.
Sure.
So of course, we've had have you had an iPod in your lifetime? Anywhere in your old things, would you find your old iPod?
Yeah, I still have a pink one.
Yeah. See? That's it. That speaks volumes. That's why we're here, Lisa. Well, there you go. Now you've really enveloped everything that we're doing in that pink iPod. And what kind of music? Was it dance music? Did you have music to like get through work? Music to go driving? Music for a walk in the park? Did you have categories of lifestyle music on your little iPod, on your pink? Was it the little guy, or did you have the big fat guy with the dial? Did you have to dial it up?
I had a little guy, because I primarily used my iPod over the years to go downhill skiing and to go snowmobiling, because it hooks into my helmet of my ski outfit and the helmet of my snowmobile outfit.
There you go. So you exactly, precisely exemplify. Exactly. That's it. There's you telling the whole story. There's not really very little to add. All right, excellent. So this is what we're doing now. The show Monday through Friday is, of course, a broadcast. So people can get confused. They go, I don't a broadcast or a podcast. So here's where it gets tricky. Let's do kind of a where it gets tricky. This is they hear the word cast, and they go, well, podcast. They go broadcast, and you go, cast in a movie, or die and cast your stones across the water, or cast your ideas across the universe. There's a lot of casting, right? You understand that you're a fisherman and you're going to cast. You go, you take your pole and your string and you whip it out there. And
there you go.
Casting.
So podcast to you is like your bonus material, because it's not your regular show. It's extra.
This is, you once again have captured the zeitgeist of what people have come to think. That is the moment in history that we're at. I intend right now with you to break yet another stereotype and reinvent this. I say everything we do that has a link and we put on and how many places on the web are you? Here's where I am. I'm on Facebook in 9 places. There's Ed Tyll, Edward Tyll, Ed Tyll, American comedian, Ed Tyll, American radio personality, Ed Tyll, page, Ed Tyll pro. It's crazy. There's a lot of Ed Tills. You know how you went to jail? You know how They're all me.
I did. I went to Facebook jail. I haven't created a new account yet because it was only 24 hours.
Okay.
But the next one will be 3 days. So then, I will create it. I mean, I have friends who have like 7 or 8 accounts.
Right. Yeah. Well, me, I am permanently banned on one of them. One of them, I have been.
I'm not surprised.
I have been turned down. No, I have been turned down on my appeal since the early O's. I was thrown out in the early O's. It only came on board at '04 is Facebook. By '04 and a half, my first profile was banned. And I appealed it, and they said no. And I said, but I'm not like that. And they said, yes, you are, and you're not coming back on. Is that? I said, well, if I come back under another name, you should try that. It's becoming very popular. I got to kind of answer.
Oh, yeah.
So I did. So I've been on.
I wrote on my Facebook post, got out of 24-hour challenge. All my friends are like, about time. I don't know what they were waiting on. We knew that was going to happen eventually.
I told
Welcome to the club.
I said that to your husband, didn't I? I told your husband. I said, this is why they made Facebook jail for your wife. I said there would be there wouldn't have to be.
I don't know how I have not been in there before, Edward.
Listen.
I mean, I don't know how. They went a year back. Thank God they didn't go 2 or 3.
I also,
what are you gonna do?
Honestly, nothing is what you're going to do. That's the whole idea. The whole idea is it's all in some world. It's in a nether world of significance now. So anyway, this is what happens. Are you any good? Because I'm terrible at this. See, here's the problem with me and this whole thing. Performing the show and having cameras and this and recordings and MP3s and all, that's all fine with me. But you know what really makes these things go and become viral and whoozy and what's this is you have to – I've never done this. Even in elementary school I didn't do this. You have to fill out all the stuff. So what was the title of your show today? The Ed Tyll Show talks about tuna fish. Okay. And can you give us some background? Tuna fish is a delicious luncheon option that I take from time to time with celery and mayonnaise. Oh, okay. So you have to tag tuna fish, tag tuna, tag why tuna should be banned. People hate tuna. People love tuna. There's a rock band called Hot Tuna. You got to get that. Hot sandwiches, work in Betty Crocker, get star-kissed, tag this, write it up, say, today, Ed Tyll talks about it, and everything you talk about has to be a tag, has to be underlined. You have to find them on Twitter, get their website, put the .com, get the... I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with my instructions. By the time I read my instructions so I have never been, I'm not Pliny the Elder. I'm not writing the Aeneid. People go, you mean the Iliad? No, the Iliad is the Greek one. I'm talking about the Roman one, the Aeneid. Watch your language. But seriously, it's the summary of what Josephus. These are all people that love to write stuff. Me, yeah. I love to experience. So if you are good at that, it would be great if you got the video and said, oh, this is when Edward did this and I said that. And, this. Do you do any of that online? You're an online person.
Well, Edward, when I do my, when I get asked to speak at rallies,
right.
I have this guy, his name is Mert Melfa. He comes to all of my things,
right,
and he does it all for me.
There you go. I knew it.
He is awesome.
I knew it. Somebody like you're very magnetic. People, I'm sure, when you go to a rally, how many people are at the big, did you go to the early Trump rallies? Did you go to those 2015 or early 2016, long before the election? Were you going to stuff then? It was very electric. It was like going to see Black Sabbath for the first time. Very exciting.
No, I did not. I did not really pay attention at that point. It's when they decided to put Hillary Clinton up as the candidate is when I woke up and realized what was going on.
Oh, that's when you knew, holy, what the heck is going, wait a second.
I was like, wait a second, I better get involved here because if she wins, we're all screwed.
Here's something else that she should get this. And it's a little interesting to me. This could reveal something about her. I can't believe you brought her up, but since you did, let me ask you something. Nobody likes a political dynasty, right? Where you're entitled because somebody else was already in there. If there was ever a thing about W, like him or not like him, I have a lot of criticism. About just the whole idea, how do I know you? Because your old man did stuff and now all of a sudden you show up. So the Clintons have an air of that. She drags him along for two things right now. First, she gave up the Senate. People say, I can't believe you hung out with Hillary, you met Hillary and held hands and all that. That story, people go insane. What is wrong with it? What do you mean it's wrong with me? First of all, she's an intelligent person. At the time I knew her, she was a senator. I didn't hear word one about the husband. The husband's a big turnoff to me. I don't dig guys like that. I don't hang out with the. I don't even hate using this word on broadcast, but on podcast, at least, no one can do anything about what I'm about to say. But there are guys. You might have to put your fingers over your ears. You've heard this word. There are guys that describe themselves. Yeah. Do you know the word Lothario? If I say, oh my God, he's a real Lothario, do you know what that means? It's a Shakespeare character, had a lot of lovers. So it means that's a guy who beds down a lot of women. It's not a bad guy. They're sequential. They're not overlapping.
We would call him Romeo. He's a Romeo.
He's a Romeo. Okay. So to me, I'm not with that crowd. That crowd is they're like wolves. They're always looking for some naive woman who doesn't know what's up, and they are going to go in for the move. And, it's a bad habit, a behavioral pattern to cut. So that's Clinton. Clinton's always open for a quickie. The intern's here, the woman on the side. When Jennifer Flowers came out, and she said, he's been having an affair with me for 10 years. I said on the air, Hillary's got to dump him now. You know something? If you are really,
I bet they hate each other. How much you want to make a bet? They don't even talk. I bet you they can't stand each other.
I can't imagine. But when you're in public, a 10-year affair, you just have to dump him. If you're going to take him back in 5 years, he behaves himself. That's different. But right now, having a woman alive who's in public talking about banging your husband for a decade, you have to suck it up. And it doesn't mean you have to divorce him. It just means you're out. Adios. Nowhere near me or the kid for a while till you show the two of us who this is. This axe murderer of sex that we got involved with. This is your daughter you did this in front of. Yeah, this is your wife you do this in front of, the one who made sacrifices so you could be the governor.
Look what he did to Juanita Broderick.
That's another one. See, if he would have stood up.
He raped her.
Who knows, but she's entitled. She's entitled to her a day in court.
I give her the benefit of the doubt.
Listen.
I give her the benefit of the doubt because he is nefarious for being a Romeo
and
not exactly in the greatest way.
It's a bad thing for any guy. If you're dipping that often, you are obviously going to do damage. There's no way to skate through. So anyway, this is how I felt.
How do we end up on Clintons and the sex life?
Well, here's what. Well, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Nobody wants a political dynasty. So we shouldn't be having that. And she shouldn't have run as a Clinton. She should have ran as a Rodham all the way. She should have said, look, he's still my husband, blah, blah, blah. But after that thing, no go. I'm Hillary Rodham. It's who I am. And
I still would have not voted for her.
Well, hold on. But she wouldn't have run for president. She was a great senator. She would have had the Schumer job. She would have been terrific.
Oh, Lord.
But see, she's not a lunatic. She's not AOC-minded. She's not trying to give away everybody's money. She wants money. She believes in wealth. She believes in ownership of property. She believes in having all kinds of influence in a capitalistic society. She's too pro-bank for a lot of Dems. very pro-bank, because you can't be stupid. You don't want to unfinance the world one day to get even with Sweden. Or you see how Sweden's not acting right under coronavirus? You see, Sweden's like, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I saw that. They're getting dinged in the news.
But anyway, she drank from the well. She went too many times to the well. She got hubris like the husband. She thought she could do it all. She just thought that even with his name, even with all this crazy stuff, and she misjudged. She would have stayed in the Hillary that I was with on 9/11/2002. This is when we were together. Solemn American moment. You could still feel death out of the sidewalk. The sidewalk still felt like dead people. It was a year later, but it felt like dead people. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Too many people died right on the sidewalk. So she and I and Chelsea are standing, in the middle of all this death. So she knows how to be strong. She knows how to fight. She'll rip somebody's eyes out. That's the whole tough thing about being a woman in business or in government is, can you rip somebody's eyes out? Can you put your hand on somebody's throat and hold it until they stop moving for the good of your country? Whether it's a soldier in the field, a president with a policy, whatever you are. You have the guts, or do you say, I don't know, I can't, I don't know what to do, and then the other guy wins? She has that. She was ready to go get Nixon. She was with that crew. They thought they were badass Democrats. They were not softy Democrats in any way. They want to make a crap load of money. They want to live in nice houses. They want to live in high rises. They want to live in big cities, Hollywood, Beverly Hills. They wanted all of that. They were totally material. You know who they came out of? Who do you think jump-started their appetite for wealth? Who do you think showed them how to get the goodies? Ronald Reagan. Reagan opened it up. Everybody's buying. Reagan's got car. Everybody's buying Corvettes, Porsches, suspenders, $1,000 suits, $500 eyeglasses, haircuts. People went nuts with Reagan. They went crazy. We're probably going to have that in the post-corona. You're going to see there's going to be a whole wave of materialism. People are going to go insane because they think they should be rewarded, which they should, for all their stress. But what he did gave these Democrats a lifestyle. All of a sudden they got money because they believe in low taxes, because they believe in profit, because they believe in return on investment. So that's how the Clintons came on the stage. They came on the stage. Look, we're the new Democrats. We don't go for socialism. We don't go for giveaways. We go for money, money, money. But we want, no discrimination laws. We want gay marriage. We want all of the libertine lifestyles